Jacksonville, they made a big-time trade. Calvin Ridley, who I believe is from the Florida area, went back to Florida during his bye week last year whenever he was not playing, placed a pretty hefty bet that did involve his Atlanta Falcons team playing against somebody. He was then got a year-long suspension for betting on game that he was not playing in, or the bye week that he was not playing in, and that he was not playing in the entire season. Nonetheless, set the standard going forward, the precedent. We can't have players betting on games, even though sports gambling is about to be legal everywhere because of how much better it makes all sports and everything like that. He has been traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ian Rappaport says, shocker! This one came out of left field for Ian Rappaport. The Falcons are trading wide receiver Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars, sources say, in exchange for a complex draft compensation that could be worth a maximum 2023 fifth rounder and a 2024 second rounder. Ridley is suspended through at least the 2022 season. He was suspended indefinitely with at least a season, I guess, is where we're at. Yep. Calvin Ridley, good ball player. Artie Smith, never really got to experience anything with him. So these are the conditions to the trade for Calvin Ridley. If he gets reinstated by a date, it's worth a 2023 fifth. Otherwise, it's for a sixth. If he makes the team in 2024, it's at least a fourth. If he hits playtime milestone, it's a third. If Jacksonville gets a long-term deal done, it's a two.
Wow.
All right, I love what Atlanta's doing. Listen, go ahead and get the guy. Doug Peterson's like, do we know if he's ever going to fucking play? Has anybody ever been suspended before for sports gambling? Like, this is still a precedent type of thing. Has he been talking to Roger Goodell since being suspended? Is Roger happy with him? Is they not happy with him? Is he ever going to play? And Jacksonville Jaguar GM goes, you're right, goes up to Atlanta. We need an answer for all this shit. And the Atlanta GM's like, all right, how about this? If he plays, you guys give him a long-term deal, you get this. If he does this, you get this. If he's reinstated, guess what? Boom, that's going to be a fifth and a sixth. We get to move. We get a deal. Jacksonville's like, deal. Let's fucking make it happen. I'm excited to hear that they were willing to do whatever to get a deal done, and maybe this will help out the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, it seems like, Etienne's making big plays every single weekend. Trevor Lawrence is making some big plays. It feels like they're a little bit of a splash. They lose to the Denver Broncos in London, which is the first time a lot of people have probably seen this Jacksonville Jaguars team this season. They do feel different. They do feel different than they have in the past, but they're not going to be in the conversation this year. Does Calvin Ridley change that next year, you think, A.J. Hawk?
I mean, I think he definitely gives you another weapon, and people kind of forget how good Calvin Ridley can be. The dude is super explosive. He's very fast. I hope I don't know what the year off's going to do. I would assume he's working out and hanging out and doing whatever, but I'm sure he needed a change of scenery. Jacksonville, it makes a lot of sense to however the picks are going to work out whenever it does happen. Like, I think it seems like it's worth it if he can come in and play if he's not suspended anymore.
Yeah, well, I just assume it's going to be one season, and then he's going to be back. Yeah. I guess that's in question, though.
That's wild.
Which we just
Does
learned.
he have to do his stuff? Does he have, like, a process he has to go through, probably go to, like, meetings and different things, I'm sure?
Oh, yeah, and get through it all.
Gamblers Anonymous.
Yep.
I'll tell you
real,
what.
like the DUI camp people go to for weekends.
That's in Arizona, I think, right? Isn't that Arizona?
That's here, too.
Oh, yeah, that's not every DUI.
Not jail. No, Arizona, they put you in jail, like in the tent jail or whatever.
Yeah,
here,
Tent City.
A lot of places you get DUI, you go sit there with drug addicts and they tell stories.
Yeah, I've had a couple friends who are Ohio fucks who have gotten some DUIs, have told tales about the tales that they were told at DUI boot camp over the weekend. Because, I guess there is levels of people that are in that DUI boot camp, from classic alcoholic who doesn't understand that Uber is still a thing, even as a young that's drunk driving, which shouldn't be doing that, all the way to people that are on their 15th DUI, you know what I mean, in Ohio, and the reason why and that whole thing. Calvin Ridley, though, he was still on the team after all that happened. Like, they didn't just immediately cut him and say, like, that's how good he is.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, he's a very good football player. They just got a lot in return for a guy who hasn't played, had a pretty heavy, when you look at it from the NFL's standpoint, a year-long suspension, so a pretty big fine, severe fine for the action. And now Jacksonville is going to take a shot. Doug Peterson should be able to get going. All right, we will keep everybody updated on the trades as they continue to roll in. About 45 minutes left until the trade window has been shut for the entirety of the NFL season. The PAFL 2022 and the 2022 PAFL season.
Boom.